This is Presentation 1, Search and Seizure for the College of Education and Human Sciences at UNA, IL 695, Legal and Ethical Responsibilities with Dr. Jeffrey Cornelius. Meet our group. My name is Tasha Swearingen. I'm the Reading Specialist at Mill Creek Elementary.
My name is Kimberly Waldrop. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Forest Hills Elementary.
And I'm Cody Wilkerson. I'm a virtual teacher at Lawrence County Schools.
The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath and affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things being seized." So the purpose of the Fourth Amendment is to uphold the privacy and security of individual persons against subjective invasions by the government and its officials. When the government violates an individual's expectation of privacy, then an unlawful search has occurred. An individual's expectation of privacy can be defined as whether the individual expects their actions will be free from government intrusion. It requires that searches meet a reasonableness standard. This is weighed on the circumstances surrounding the search and the measuring the overall intrusive nature against the search and legitimate interest of the government. All right, so we're going to go into are school searches legal?
With this, I'll talk about the standards for instructional leaders in Alabama. Instructional leaders have a duty to uphold the moral, ethical, and legal responsibility of his or her respective schools. While these are not all of the bullets under the Standard 8 of the Alabama Standards for Instructional Leaders, the expectations of instructional leaders when it comes to events related to search and seizure are as follows: knowledge and ability to adhere to a professional code of ethics and values, knowledge and ability to make decisions based on the legal, moral, and ethical implications of policy options and political strategies, knowledge and ability to act in accordance with federal, state, and constitutional provisions, statutory standards, and regulatory applications, ability to make decisions within an ethical context. While the instructional leaders should have just cause of a search and seizure, they ultimately have the ability to pursue a search and seizure if he or she feels the search is warranted and will keep the integrity of the school. There are some questions to consider. When courts try to determine whether a school search violates the Fourth Amendment, they consider a variety of factors. The evidence for the search, in most cases, the schools must be able to state specifically what they are searching for and have a good reason for believing what they will find in the place they're looking. The item being looked for, in general, the more dangerous an item is, the more invasive courts will allow the search to be. What is being searched, depending on whether the school is searching lockers, backpacks, etc., it needs to comply with the different requirements. And then the person doing the search, different rules apply to the search depending on whether it is conducted by a teacher or a principal, a school resource officer, or police officer. Reasonable suspicion. Most student searches in schools begin as a result from some reasonable suspicion by a school district employee that the student has violated a law or school policy. In order to have reasonable suspicion, a school employee must have facts that support the suspicions are true. A justifiable student search must include each of the following components. Reasonable suspicion must exist that a particular student has committed or is committing a violation of law or school policy. There must be a direct connection between what is being sought and the suspected infraction. There must be a direct connection between what is being sought and the place to be searched.
When it comes to school lockers, students have no reasonable expectation of privacy in their school lockers as long as the school has published student policy that lockers are under the supervision of the school and that the school also has ownership over those lockers. With this policy in place, it allows a school employee to conduct generalized searches of a student's locker regardless of whether there is suspicion or not. For vehicle searches, they can occur with student vehicles that are parked on school grounds, and they can be searched as long as there is reasonable suspicion to conduct a search. If an item such as drugs, alcoholic beverages, weapons, etc., that violates the school policy is in plain view, a school administrator may always search the vehicle. Schools should have a policy stating that vehicles parked on school grounds are subject to search to cover liability. Metal detectors. Walk-through metal detectors have been ruled constitutional. A handheld metal detector can be used to search any student with which there is reasonable suspicion that may have something harmful on their persons. In addition, the court has upheld rulings that a handheld metal detector may be used to search every student and their possessions as they enter the school building. However, a random use of a handheld metal detector without reasonable suspicion is not recommended. All of this information is important, but why is it important? Student search is a tool for maintaining safe schools. School administrators need to be aware of the importance of balancing students' individual rights with the need for a safe learning environment. Thank you.